Book of Good Counsels, from the Sanskrit of the Hithopadesha, by Sir Edwin Arnold. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanot. Introduction. Honor to Ganesh, God of Wisdom. This book of counsel read, and you shall see fair speech and Sanskrit lore and policy. On the banks of the holy river Ganges, there stood a city named Pataliputra. The king of it was a good king and a virtuous, and his name was Sudarshana. It chanced one day that he overheard a certain person reciting these verses: Wise men, holding wisdom highest, scorn delights more false than fair. Daily live they as death's fingers twined already in their hair. Truly richer than all riches, better than the best of gain, wisdom is. Unbought, secure, once won, none loseth her again. Bringing dark things into daylight, solving doubts that vex the mind, like an open eye is wisdom. He that hath her not is blind. Hearing these, the king became disquieted, knowing that his own sons were gaining no wisdom, nor reading the sacred writings, but altogether going in the wrong way. And he repeated this verse to himself: Childless art thou, dead thy children, leaving thee to want and dole. Let thy misery than his is, who is father to a fool. And again this: one wise son makes glad his father, 40 fools avail him naught. One moon silvers all that darkness which the silly stars did dot. And it has been said, reflected he, ease and health, obeisant children, wisdom, and a fair voiced wife. Thus, great king, are counted up the 5 felicities of life. For the son, the sire is honored. Though the bouquet bendeth true, let the strained string crack in using, and what service shall it do? Nevertheless, mused the king, I know it is urged that human efforts are useless, as, for instance, that which will not be, and what is to be, will be. Why not drink this easy, psychic antidote of misery? But then that comes from idleness, with people who will not do what they should do. Rather say, nay, and faint not, idly sighing, destiny is mightiest. Sesame holds oil in plenty, but it yieldeth none unpressed. Ah, it is a coward's babble. Fortune taketh, fortune gave. Fortune, rate her like a master, and she serves thee like a slave. For indeed, twofold is the life we live in. Fate and will together run. 2 wheels bear life's chariot onward. Will it move on only one? And again, look, the clay dries into iron, but the potter molds the clay. Destiny today is master. Man was master yesterday. So verily, worthy ends come not by wishing. Wouldst thou up and win it then? While the hungry lion slumbers, not a deer comes to his den." Having concluded his reflections, the Raja gave orders to assemble a meeting of learned men. Then said he in their midst, "Hear now, O my Pandits! Is there one among you so wise that he will undertake to give the second birth of wisdom to these my sons by teaching them the books of policy? For they have never yet read the sacred writings, and are altogether going in the wrong road, and ye know that. Silly glass in splendid settings something of the gold may gain, and in company of wise ones fools to wisdom may attain." Then uprose a great sage, by name Vishnu Sarman, learned in the principles of policy, as is the angel of the planet Jupiter himself, and he said, "My Lord King, I will undertake to teach these princes policy, seeing they are born of a great house. For labours spent on the unworthy of reward the labourer bark. Like the parrot, teach the heron 20 times, he will not talk. But in this royal family the offspring are royal minded, and in 6 moons I will engage to make your Majesty's sons comprehend policy." The Raja replied with condescension, "On the eastern mountains lying, common things shine in the sun, and by learned minds enlightened, lower minds may show as one. And you, worshipful Sir, are competent to teach my children the rules of policy." So saying, with much graciousness, he gave the Princess to the charge of Vishnu Sarman, and that sage, by way of introduction, spake to the Princess as they sat at ease on the balcony of the palace, in this wise: "Hear now, my Princess, for the delectation of your Highness, I purpose to tell the tale of the Crow, the Tortoise, the Deer, and the Mouse." "Pray, Sir," said the King's sons, "let us hear it." Vishnu Sarman answered, "It begins with the winning of friends, and this is the first verse of it. Sans way or wealth, wise friends their purpose gain. The mouse, crow, deer, and tortoise make this plain." End of introduction. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat.